This podcast is part of the Planet Broadcasting Network.
Visit planetbroadcasting.com for more podcasts from our great mates.
This week's episode of Do Go On is brought to you by Casper Mattresses. Casper Mattresses.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Do Go On. My name is Dave Warnocky and I'm here with Jess Perkins and Matt Stewart.
That was an explosive hello.
It was explosive.
Were you trying to put me off so I didn't cover you again? I saw you clock me first.
Oh no!
I appreciate that. I appreciate you did that. Jess was getting out of hand with those things early on, Jess.
What, being adorable?
Yeah, it was
Sorry
getting
about
out of... People were starting to talk,
Sorry.
saying it's distracting.
That's right.
Those levels of adorability are getting a bit much.
They're getting in the way of the facts.
Yeah, sorry. I'll let the man speak.
Oh.
Yeah, fuckos.
Oh, dear.
Oh no, I think she means you because
Jess
I've
played.
never been referred to as a man.
I don't think she meant me. You don't want me to speak, do you?
I want both of you to shut up and I want to just get everything out of my brain.
Right, go.
All right, here's what I'm thinking.
All right.
Okay.
The
Freestyle.
fuck's the deal with butterflies?
Ugh.
Today I saw a video of a butterfly that when it closes its wings, it looks like a leaf. And then it opens its wings and it's a butterfly. And it's like, I get that that's really handy for camouflage, but what about in autumn when people like to stomp on leaves? You're fucked.
Oh
Yeah.
no.
What about if it's a guy who likes to play leaf harmonica?
Yeah, and he picks you up. Now you're a harmonica until you can get free.
Now you're involved in bush poetry or something. Is that what you wanted?
Is that what you wanted, butterfly?
Yeah.
Oh, very confusing.
Idiot.
I've always thought of them as clean moths.
Yeah.
And I can get into that.
Clean moths.
No dust.
Is that what moths are dusty?
They look dusty.
That's how they get grey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's dust.
There's some beautifully colourful moths out there, David. No, there aren't. Okay.
Some beautifully colourful dust out there is what you meant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dust.
Anyway.
Anything else on the chest of
Oh,
Jess?
so many things. But,
Phlegm.
but we also said we'd get into it
Yes.
quickly.
Well, let me
today.
stop you right there, Jess, because we have an exciting announcement to make.
Is it moth related?
Yeah, well, that was my harmonica played with a butterfly.
Oh, look at it flapping away.
Fly away.
Oh.
No, we have just put on sale a new live podcast show, and we are coming back to Sydney town.
Woohoo!
Also known as Sydney.
Sydney, Australia.
Sorry, yes. Not in Canada.
The Big Smoke. We're going up to the Big Apple.
Of Australia.
Of Australia again. Yes, we are coming up to Sydney. It's nearly exactly 1 year since we've been there by the time this show's on. August 24th. It is a Friday night show, 8:30. We've never done like a Friday or a Saturday night
Yeah, we're
non-school night show.
We're
You
going to
know?
get fucking loose.
Woo!
Woo!
Yeah, we haven't done a nighttime show at all.
Now think about it. You're bloody right.
Yeah.
You know how we usually drink during the live shows? I'm going to drink even more.
Do go on after dark.
Oh.
It will be very, very
We're going to
dark.
say rude words.
And it will be the only Sydney show this year.
That's right. So please do come along if you are in the area. So Friday night, and it's at the Giant Dwarf Theatre, which is a lovely place.
So good.
And it will be our biggest show yet.
Yes.
We're hoping you guys will come out and pack it out, and we'll have the best time ever together.
Best time ever with Do Go On.
And there was an early bird discount, was there, Dave? I mean, we're making this up right now.
I just made up a fucking jingle and nothing.
It sounded like
Go on
unbelievable.
better with the best press guarantee.
Yes.
Very different. Very different to
was-
what I did.
it was so similar to that.
This is a restricting workplace.
Come on,
Hey,
try
Jess,
again.
it was a great
No,
jingle. No, it was a
no.
great jingle. I love that. I love the Flight Centre jingle. I thought yours was derivative, but in a great way. The key is being derivative of something great, and you were.
I hate you both.
Now,
Go on better for the best price guarantee.
for the best price guarantee, if we are going to have a early bird discount, Matt, what would the code word be if we're making this up on the fly?
It would be goon.
Goon,
I was going to make
G-O-O-N.
it Flight Centre.
That's complicated.
Goon makes sense.
We wouldn't remember that. Would we remember that? Dave's then got to go type that in, remember?
Type Flight Centre. No, type Goon in for an early bird discount if you book this week. And yeah, it's only a couple of days before Jess's birthday and then my birthday, so come along.
It's almost
Bring
an
us
anniversary
gifts.
of the last time we were up in Sydney.
Yeah.
It is.
Hey, we should get on with the show. This show works in a way where we each do a report one week after the other or something like that, right? And then we start the report each week by asking a question. This week, Dave's doing the report, so he's going to ask a question now that's going to get us on topic. Jess and I do not know what the report is about. Dave hopefully does.
I've got some idea.
Dave, can you tell me now what the report is about so that you and I know and only Matt doesn't?
All right, I'll stop the recording for 5 seconds.
Okay.
And we're back, Jess. Pretty interesting topic, I think. You
Wow.
can agree.
Wait, I didn't even say. Did you stop my brain as well?
Yes, for 5 seconds. I've got a question. Yeah, you'll catch up. My question to both of you is, what is arguably the most famous rebellion in Australia's history?
I think I know this one, but I don't know anything about it. Is it the Rum Rebellion?
It is not the Rum Rebellion.
Is that
which
an
why-
Australian thing?
That is Australian, which is why
Oh, Eureka!
it is. Yes, You've
I've got
the
it.
answer.
Is it the Eureka Stockade?
It is the Eureka Stockade.
What is the Rum Rebellion?
We can talk about it on another episode. That's why I added in arguably.
Okay,
In
great.
case you said that.
Wow.
Oh, Jess? You
are
already knew
good.
the answer 'cause
Yeah,
I told
knew.
you
That's
so.
why I didn't even guess because I didn't need to. You can't guess when you know.
Yeah, it's not a guess.
Oh, can
It's
we put that on a t-shirt?
You can't guess when you know.
Yeah.
I'd just go straight to tattoo.
Fuck yeah. All right.
Straight to tap.
Neck tat.
Can't guess when you know. You know?
You know. I think you know.
Is that also on the shirt?
Yeah.
On the tat?
Oh, the
yeah.
whole thing.
I think you know. No.
I think you know. Come on.
Oh, this is great.
No, it is the
Cool.
Eureka Rebellion, aka the Eureka Stockade.
I know. There's a flag, and I know there was a
Stockade?
stockade.
I know nothing, even though my family is from there.
Really? From the Ballarat region?
Yeah, I should know that.
So I was going to ask, because this is in Australia, this is a pretty famous topic. A lot of times in primary school or early high school, you do a project on this topic.
Nah.
You guys didn't ever do that?
Nah.
I don't think so.
Now, this was suggested by Hannah Dempsey from Perth, so thank you very much, Hannah. And it was voted for by the Patreon listeners, and a few of them did comment saying, oh, that's going to be a bit nostalgic. I did a project
Oh, there
on
you
it.
go.
So there you go.
It was also, sorry to interrupt, it was handwritten and suggested by Josh and Connor Saunders, who visited us.
I think the only ever handwritten
Yeah, no,
hat entry.
no, Nesta had a handwritten one as well. But
Nesta, who cannot be bester.
he shan't be bester. When Matt
Wait,
and I,
bested.
when Matt and I
Totally changes the
Yeah,
meaning.
hang on.
when Matt and I did a gig in Ballarat ages ago,
Yeah, like a year and a half.
they came to the show and gave us a handwritten submission.
Oh, that's really, really cool. I had no idea about that. So
Yeah.
that also suggested by some local Ballaratians.
Ballarats.
Local Ballarats. I thought,
Nesta, the great suggester, but not in this case. Not relevant.
Thank you for piping in then.
I thought it had been a while since we've done an Aussie topic, so I put 3 Australian topics in the Patreon vote, and this was the one that was chosen.
By a landslide?
I don't think landslides were voting in this one, Jess. It was the Patreons.
Ah.
Thank you to Patreon subscriber 600, Mr. Landslide. Your vote got it across the line. 51%.
Wow.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Whoa.
To quote D. Warnocky, whoa.
Put it on my tombstone. Whoa. Dave Warnocky.
And then I'll put in brackets moments before he died.
By a landslide.
Whoa. A comet. Behind that comet is a landslide.
Space landslide. That's what comets are.
Whoa.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
When you think about it that way,
I mean, everything's a landslide.
in a way.
Like, you're a podcast landslide, Jess. Dave, you're a
Also a podcast landslide.
podcast
maybe.
landslide. It's really hard. Anyway, you need a new stereotype.
Okay.
Give me one. The boy landslide. All right.
Okay.
And you're a beard landslide.
I'm a beard landslide.
is what I
Great.
say.
All right. Well, I'm glad I started that.
Appreciate you going with boy. As opposed to other options. All right. Let's start the report. So this is a homegrown topic. Also pretty close to our Victorian hearts, this one. So to start the story and set the scene, we have to talk about Australia in the late 1840s.
Ah, what a time.
Oh, yeah.
The 1840s.
That's why I paused. You went, oh, and I was like, here we go. And you didn't do it, and then you did it, and now I
Yeah.
feel great.
Yeah, fucking gotcha.
Well, prior to 1851, the colonial government of New South Wales, which at the time included our state of Victoria.
In a way, we're all New South Welshmen.
We are.
It was pretty like most of Australia was New South Wales for a while, I think. Like all the
East
all the
Coast.
East
wasn't it?
Coast.
Yeah, it was.
I think
sort of-
early on it was like Tasmania, New South Wales, and maybe Western Australia.
Yeah, I think
can't remember.
WA have always been their own
Yeah.
little thing.
Little thing.
Well,
They're a third of our country
in size
in size.
and spirit.
Yes.
Correct.
So this is prior to 1851. The colonial government had hushed up news whenever someone found gold, believing if the news got out that it would reduce the workforce and destabilize the economy. Basically, everyone would quit their jobs to go look for gold.
Right.
But then the Californian gold rush hit, and a lot of people living in Australia decided to travel over there to try and
Oh
strike a rich.
no!
Wow.
So the government realised its mistake and started offering rewards for people who found gold here. So in July 1851, the Victorian gold rush began.
So not only do you find the gold,
Yeah, surely that's its bonus.
yeah, so you can sell that for quite a bit of money
Yes, but I think a lot of the time you don't get to keep all of the gold.
Right.
if
So
you
it's
want to claim
it's
your
taxed,
reward.
is it?
Yeah, so like you sell it on, you get part of the gold.
That
Right.
doesn't
Sort of like
seem
eBay. eBay takes a little fee.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They've got to survive somehow.
Were they selling their gold online?
On eBay.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, there you go.
eBay.goldrush.com.
Where they made it.
Come.
They were so early. They could have had
Second
such
time.
simple
I know.
websites, but they made them more complicated.
Yeah, someone got in there and just sort of parked on goldrush.com and just wouldn't.
They're like eBay _ gold rush 69.
69
.com.
at Hotmail.
That was the official government address. Please email us if you find gold.
How shadow? So there were Australians who probably had gold in their backyard who went, I'm going to California. And then that word would have come through
Yeah,
when
they're
they
like,
were arriving.
"Oh."
Hey, there's a lot of gold down here. It was, yeah, you didn't realize it, but your house was gold. You didn't notice it was all shiny. You
Quite
should come-
cold.
Yeah. It wasn't actually quite cold. It was quite gold.
An entire house of gold, and they've gone to California.
California. And it would be, back then, it's not just a simple flight over, is it?
No.
And that was 2 flights.
No, thank you.
No plane could fly that far in 1850.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fortunately, that all changed when they invented the gold plane, solid gold.
Very-
Flew like a plane made of gold.
So sorry, it's solid gold.
Yes.
Where do the people sit?
Well, it was that was one of the many oversights.
They rode it like a horse. On top.
Everyone's on
That
top.
seems like a terrible idea.
Yeah, it crashed into the ocean, and
And yeah, that's people still looking for it. The lost city of Atlantis.
well, now it's a gold submarine. That's how they
Yeah,
the marketing spin.
sure.
You understand.
Oh, I get it.
So July 1851, the Victorian gold rush began. And this is the setting for today's report. People began to find lots and lots of gold in Australia. For a number of years, the gold output from Victoria alone, second only to California, and if you exclude California, just our state alone had a greater output than any other country in the world.
Wow.
So
Good on us.
every other entire country, California and Victoria,
Why?
are both having more gold. Because we just had a lot of gold
Yeah, but
sitting around.
how?
Just naturally occurring.
How'd it get there?
Space.
How does gold? What's gold?
Landslides.
How does it happen? Why do we have it?
Dreams.
Oh,
More people. Just trying to make her understand that I don't know. I didn't look that bit up.
You didn't look up what's gold?
What is gold?
but don't you
kind of
find that interesting that
Shallow
like
report.
that just in one little Victoria's not that big. In one little corner of a country, we got heaps of gold. Do you think that's cool?
I don't know. I mean, it's just a made-up thing.
Okay,
We've decided it's valuable. It's just a
true.
weird rock, right?
This is just the first time that I've ever got excited about the origins of something. And
Yeah.
now
You
never
you
thought-
two are like, so? And I just don't, I mean, I suddenly understand what it's like to deal with me. And I'm so sorry. I will ask more questions in the future.
that's totally fine.
I just think that's fascinating. Sorry.
No, yeah, it is.
I just never really thought about it as hard as you.
Well, that's because I'm the smartest woman in the
Yeah.
You're
universe.
the thinker.
You got those little grey cells working.
Love those little grey cells. So news spread about the riches that could be made, and more people travelled to Victoria to try their luck.
And also, it's just a great tourist destination.
Totally.
We've got lots of cafes.
Yes.
Ballarat.
But no, Victoria.
Oh, Victoria.
Bars.
Yeah, there's nowhere else in the world that has cafes and bars.
Bushwalking.
The Melbourne Comedy Festival.
Yeah.
Matt.
Huh?
How many others of those
Why
are
are you
there?
hating on Victoria so much?
that's-
You were born and raised here, young man.
It's a fun place.
I don't like the sound of that tone in fine.
It's a golden place.
Thank you, David. The Garden State.
My next sentence here is, it really put Australia, Victoria and Melbourne on the map.
Yeah, like our city scene, our bars,
Yes.
cafes, bushwalk.
Why should we go to Melbourne? Our city scene. Okay.
Well, I mean, get to Melbourne, then you'll understand.
Well, this is how much it really exploded. This is the population growth of non-Indigenous Australians before and during the gold rush. So in 1835, none. 1840, 10,000. 1851, when this all kicks off, 29,000. 3 years later, 1854, 123,000. Then by 1960, Victoria's population had hit 540,000 people.
Wow.
So it really gone up.
1960.
1860.
I was going to
1860.
say.
You
So
said
year after
1960.
year.
He did say 1960. You
Oh, did I?
you
So sorry.
stupid-
It's a
Oh
real
my God.
trap.
Got me.
I was about to call him. I was about to go hard and be like, "You fucking idiot!" But then that sorry was so cute.
Oh.
Oh, sorry.
Whoopsies. So people are coming to Victoria in 1860.
Nice.
Got it right. Sailors and captains deserted ships. People in city official type jobs, written here, gave up their relatively cushy lives and picked up pans and shovels in the hopes of striking it rich. These hopefuls were called diggers, and not all of them got rich, but many stayed, and this transformed Australia.
Gold diggers.
Yes.
It all makes sense
Appropriately
now.
called. People came in from all over the world, particularly from China this period. This had all kicked off, this Victorian gold rush, when a man named Thomas Hiscock,
Very good.
he was in charge of Hiscock, he discovered with a shovel, I imagine, gold in Buninyong, about 11 kilometres from the town of Ballarat.
That's where my uncle lives.
Buninyong?
Mount Buninyong.
Oh.
Yeah. Cool.
Right near Ballarat in August 1851. This sparked huge interest in the area and kicked off the Victorian gold rush. Now, I hadn't thought about this before, but at the start of the gold rush, there was no roads to the goldfields and no shops or houses there. So people had to carry everything they needed through the bush. They travelled by horse or by walking with wheelbarrows loaded with their possessions.
Jeez.
So they were really desperate to make it work.
Wow.
You got to travel a long way with a wheelbarrow to get there.
Have you seen the Australian film The Nugget?
No,
How
that's
many
with
years ago?
Dave O'Neill.
Dave O'Neill.
Eric Banner?
Yep, Stephen Curry. And now that's all I can think about, now that that's what we're talking about, but I can't remember how it ends. And that's killing me.
But it's about a big gold nugget.
Yeah, they find gold. Wow. Yeah, it's pretty interesting.
It's a real,
That was worth me jumping in there.
no, it's a real parable.
It's
I'll
just-
learn a lot. What would you say is the moral of that story?
It's similar in so many ways,
It really is.
in that they found gold.
I've got a whole section on the nugget at the end of the report.
Do you?
Absolutely not. But if you'd like, I can try and make up a fun fact at the end.
Thank you. I
I'll
would
find
like
something.
that, yes.
I'll find something.
Thank you.
Is there something called, is it the Welcome Strange or anything to do with anything?
Yeah, the Welcome Stranger, that's the largest gold nugget ever found anywhere.
Right. And it's also a pokies venue in the city.
Yeah, there you go. They've taken that. I think it was found in New South Wales. Am I
Fuck,
right?
they get everything cool.
But I mean, this was
No,
Victoria?
I lied. I just lied. Found it
One of ours?
California.
Mollyagul, Victoria,
Oh, there you go.
about 9 miles west of Denali. And it was absolutely massive. But it was a bit later than this. It was found in 1869.
All right.
All right.
As of 2018,
Shakalackin'.
it would have been worth $3.8 million
Ooh.
if you found this nugget today, which no one has since. So there you go. So anyway, people are desperate to make it work. They're wheelbarrowing through the bush just to get to these gold sites. And at first it was pretty great because gold was found in rivers or on the surface, near the surface of just the dirt. You didn't have to dig very far, or basically it's referred to as alluvial gold.
Alluvial.
So it's just most of this is just in the water, and you can just use a little pan to extract it. You just got to find it amongst the other grains of rock and dirt there. And it's just on the surface. Anyone can find it. But thousands of people were panning, and as this surface gold ran out, gold seekers were forced to look further underground. This involved digging deeper mines and was much, much, much more dangerous.
Much, much, much more dangerous.
No. Much, much more dangerous.
Oh, I'm sorry. I added a much.
Thank you. I will not be taken...
Oh, you're singing Macho Man.
I was
Were you?
thinking that
Well, yeah, Matt was doing a little groove.
You did a little groove.
much, man.
I want to be.
I was singing the shake, Joanna.
Sonora.
I was singing gibberish.
Sure.
Oh, that ended up having nothing to do with anything.
But I was saying the words
Much.
match,
sorry.
match, manyancha, match, ma. Anyway, you asked.
Yeah, hey, that's on us.
There was a mouse on a little wheel. That's my brain. My little grey cells are just mice.
Yeah, they'll be firing out. Life on the Goldfields, I want to tell you about it. It was anything but easy.
Life on the Goldfields.
It ain't easy.
Great, not easy.
The space where someone was digging was called a claim. To keep their claim, a person had to work on it every day except Sunday, the Lord's Day.
Yeah, that's nice. You got to have a day off.
If no one was working a claim, or you took a day off that wasn't Sunday, someone else could jump in and take it. This was called claim jumping, and fights often broke out between people. I imagine if you are a claim jumper, you're a bit of a low dog.
Definitely.
And I got up earlier than you. You weren't here by 5 a.m, so now it's mine. I imagine that kind of stuff was happening.
Wow.
A lot of imagination going on there.
At what point would you stop? Like, let's say you're just finding like little nuggets, and they're still worth a bit of money, but not enough to like make you live like a king forever. So at what point, dollar-wise, would you stop? You'd go, I've got enough for this amount of money, I'm done.
For forever?
It depends.
I think the whole gold mining thing is stupid, and I think it's you may as well be buying lotto tickets. Was your question about gold mining? I missed the start.
Yeah.
Yes, it was. At what point would you cut your losses?
I would cut them before I started. Okay. I would have stayed in town and picked up one of the cushy jobs that someone left.
Honestly, they would have been desperate to have you.
Yeah.
It would have been so good for
I was like, yeah, I'll do it.
Just use that to
double the pay.
Yeah, leverage yourself up to be the CEO of like the biggest bank or something.
Yeah. That's what I would have done.
Fuck, that is good. Well done.
Because it's really hard life. They lived in tents at first, but little makeshift villages began to pop up. Food and supplies had to be brought in, again without proper roads, probably with a wheelbarrow. So stuff's very, very expensive because it's all imported. Funnily, many of the people who got rich were the people who set up the shops and sold stuff to the people hoping to strike it rich.
Right, okay.
So people would set up pubs,
Oh.
clubs, or just like grocery style shops, or offer to take your mail and that kind of thing. And those people started making a killing off the people who were gambling everything.
Wow.
The pubs were really popular. I've written here that I imagine that Matt would go all the way from the city to find gold, but then end up spending the day at the pub instead.
That sounds fun. I mean, someone's going to run that pub.
Yes. And I don't know if you just heard that, Matt, but those people were getting really rich.
I did not hear that, but
So you were on your phone.
Dave, please. That was our little secret.
Sorry. I imagine you were Googling the nugget facts. Save me.
Surely the pubs in town are still better. Why are you going out to these shitty... imagine how shitty those pubs would be.
Oh, most of this, they're building them out of bark and like tents at first, and then making sort of more makeshift stuff out
and
of
they'd
wood.
be getting muddy water, and they'd let mold grow in it, and they go, here's another sweet brew.
Oh, it's bad. And it wasn't an easy journey to the Goldfields, with many of the people who had come from overseas spending 7 or 8 months cramped on ships just to get to the country. And for the people living in the city that were travelling to or from the Goldfields, they were often held up by bushrangers on the way there.
Okay.
So you're like, I found a $100,000 nugget. I've just got to go take it back to my family.
Bushranger.
That would be no good.
And when you're stealing like cash from someone, like if you just had heaps of cash on you, you could have like a little bit. You'd separate it, so they might get some of it, but not all of it.
Some
But
of
with a gold nugget,
Oh, you got to shove it up your chuff. That's the only option.
What's your chuff again?
The chuffer. Your chuff.
My chuff.
Yeah.
shove it up your jaw.
We've all got one.
What's wrong with you?
You know what I mean?
Throat.
Yeah. Gotta shove it up your chuff. Nostril. Not your nostrils.
All right, you chuff.
Your nugget hole.
Gotcha.
Dave,
The nugget bank.
stop.
It's what they called it.
That's not what they
The
called
nugget
it at
bank.
all.
Chuck it up the nugget bank.
Oh,
Got to make a deposit at the Nugget Bank.
You make it back up to the bank and you have to say, I'd like to make a deposit. I'm going to need a few minutes. I'm good for it, I swear.
ew.
It's a soft metal, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, when hot enough.
Yeah, that's right. It's not liquid at room temperature.
How? You got to probably chuffs up your chuff means like chimney, right? Chimneys
Yeah,
are
you
warm.
gotta shove it up your
Yeah,
chuff.
it'll be nice and warm.
They are very warm chuffs. Now, if you did make it to the mining sites, diets were very poor. Some people died of dysentery and typhoid from the lack of cleanliness and lack of sewerage. But remember, you're there to strike it rich.
Yeah.
It's worth it.
What a nightmare.
Yeah.
It sounds horrible, but I am a dreamer. I'm a dreamer.
So you take it.
But I'm not very good in conditions where
You don't have room
anything
service.
less than business class.
Yeah, there it is.
I need the luxury of an empty chuff. Now, unlike anything, if people are making money, so some people are making money, especially when you first get there, because if you're one of the first people there, gold is ridiculously easy to find in comparison to, right now, if you go into your backyard, you don't expect to find anything.
Yeah.
But at the time, you could be expected to see something. It's not a ridiculous dream.
So you're saying I shouldn't dig up my backyard?
I reckon you should, just in case.
Never know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's not talking about your town. This is a whole different place. I don't know if there's been a gold rush in your neck of the woods.
No one's found your gold yet.
Excellent.
But like anything, if people are making money, the government are going to ask for a cut of the pie.
Yeah, they do that,
Why-
don't they?
Why are there pies now? Gold pies.
Great. Golden pie. I know there was that much gold, they just didn't know what to do with it. Golden plain, golden pie. People are going crazy.
Golden tickets.
Yeah.
Wow. Was Willy Wonka involved?
Yeah. Yep.
Bloody hell.
Obviously, of course he was.
Oh, dumb question.
What's he like, eh?
What does he like?
Oh,
Gold.
chocolate.
Gold. Yeah, he's gold. It's like chocolate
Joy.
gold.
Spreading joy.
Just 4 days after Thomas Hiscock's discovery of gold, he's the guy that kicked this whole thing off. That was just 4 days after it was published by the Geelong Advertiser.
I did work experience there.
Oh my goodness, so many connections.
Many, many years later, to be honest.
Oh.
Just a few years ago. Much closer to our time than to theirs.
Okay.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
But just 4 days after that was published and everyone
Wonder if
sort
it was the same editor. He was really lovely.
was he really old?
No.
Okay. But just 4 days after it was published in Jess's Future newspaper, Lieutenant Governor Charles Latrobe
Oh.
proclaimed in the Government Gazette Crown rights for all mining proceeds. So, that's them claiming their stake.
Ours.
And a license fee of 30 shillings per month, effective from the 1st of September 1851. And a license fee is just for the right to have a crack and go and dig. You have to pay a fee.
30 shillings a month. I wonder how
Yes.
much that would be.
Um,
Would that be a lot? Do
It's-
you reckon at the time?
From what I've read, it's not a ridiculous amount, but for people, if you find nothing, it's a lot.
Yeah, gotcha.
it's a big chunk of
It's
zero.
a big
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, cool.
Side note, Jess, I don't know if you remember, but Charles Latrobe is the guy that Josh Earl from Don't You Know Who I Am spoke about when we were on his pod a few weeks ago. He told us that when Latrobe's wife died, he then quickly married her sister.
Oh,
Do you remember he said that? So
Yeah.
Josh was right, and I just looked into this, and this is true. And apparently it was illegal at the time because marrying your wife's sister was considered incest.
Oh.
Until 1907, when an Act of Parliament in the UK called the Deceased Wife's Sister Marriage Act of 1907
Holy shit.
was introduced and began allowing a man to marry his dead wife's sister, which had previously been forbidden. And also a wife could now marry her dead husband's brother.
Okay, because I was like, that is a weird really specific.
No, but can you just imagine the guy that's campaigning for that?
Yeah.
To
His
put that
wife
in
is still alive.
context, that's a long time before women got the vote in Australia, and so long before Indigenous Australians got the vote, or
Yeah.
even allowed to be citizens.
Yep.
We had priorities in order.
Yeah, that's good, isn't it? But let us
Yep.
marry.
Obviously, top of the list.
Yeah. I want to marry my dead wife's hot sister. It should be the dead wife hot sister.
It does seem
Law.
strange, doesn't it?
Sorry, we were just thinking maybe we could treat our women and Indigenous Australians as humans. Yeah. We'll get to it.
Whoa. Have you seen my wife's sister?
I need to marry that.
Need to marry- Your wife is still very much alive. So. Yeah,
Yeah, but she
if
won't always be.
Yeah, an heir and a spare, am I right? All right.
Oh, what? An heir and a spare? I haven't heard that. What does that mean?
That's what people refer to when royalty have two children.
Oh, an heir and a spare. That's
I'm the
fun.
spare in my
and then
family.
It's just expanded to the
I'm the
second.
first of 3 spares.
Well,
But you're the first boy.
Oh, does that still matter in the British?
Back then. No, not
one?
anymore. No,
No.
not
Not
since
anymore.
Princess Charlotte was born.
Oh, sick. Good on them.
So, but she's still certainly the spare.
Oh, she's the spare for sure.
Wait,
You would have been the heir.
right. Wait, what is... doesn't matter. But
George.
who's Charlotte? Okay,
George's little sister.
William and Kate's.
right.
Charlotte.
Since she was born,
Yep.
it's changed.
Yep.
Since she was born and they knew it wasn't going to be relevant.
Yeah.
Cool.
No, but it is relevant because they had the new son, Louis, and he would have gone up the chain.
Yeah, he would have
Even
been
though he's
ahead
younger.
of Charlotte. But
Right.
now she would still take it first.
Yeah.
God, sorry.
No, that's I
getting
forget you guys are monos.
Yeah, we're monos. Mono brows. Monograms. Monopoly.
Mononyms, when people are referred to as just one name, for example, Prince.
Or Dave.
Or
Yeah, I'd love if I was Dave. People said that and they knew who you were talking about.
what about Bop?
Dave in Melbourne comedy. Yeah, we know Dave.
No. Dave, sure, Prince,
Bop.
Bob. Bob actually has a chance.
A
It's a
chance.
lot.
Bop has a chance.
Actually, you could be Stephen. You could be a good chance for Stephen.
No, that's taken by that little dog.
Oh, wait, sorry, I get
I'll
you
let him
too
have-
confused.
I'll let him have that fucking that title.
Stephen.
That fucking dog.
You hate that dog so much.
No, I really like dogs, but that one. I don't know about him. I reckon he's secretly a cat. Something about him.
What does that make you? Dave, still. Sorry, I guess I do get confused.
Please. I'm Dave.
Right, yep.
Is Dave trying to tell us he's a cat?
I'm not sure.
I'm crying out for help here.
Meow.
Purring out for help. Get that man a saucer of milk.
I went to a cafe today and the toilets there was 2 toilets and one had like a rooster on it.
Cox,
Men.
I guess.
But then the women's ones had a cat. And
Oh, so it is cocks and pussies.
it took me a
Oh,
really
that's
long
no
time
good.
to get it. Like I was like, why am I going into the right one? And then I was like, oh, pussies. Ugh.
Whoa, that feels like a gross bar or sort of
Yeah, but it
setup.
was like quite a lovely cafe in Richmond.
So quirky.
I was like, oh, I don't want to, but I do need to wee.
Oh.
Anyway, get this man a saucer of milk.
Anyway, so that was just my little side note on Charles Latrobe.
Yeah, thank
And
you,
that was
Sharon.
our little side note.
On my little side note.
Oh, boy.
Oh boy.
Anyway, Latrobe introduced these fees. For 2.
Such a big name here, Latrobe, as well.
Oh, yeah, Latrobe
Like there's
Valley.
a university.
Multiple universities. I attended one.
Just one.
I missed who he was. Just very quickly, he's the governor.
He's the governor at the time.
Okay. Did he go on to become a prime minister or anything? No.
No, we did not. But yeah, so he's big in Victoria because he was an early government.
I assume
Victoria.
all these old dudes are bad people as well, on some level. Certainly by today's standards. Is that fair in this guy's case?
Well, I mean, in the stockade, people are often, and we'll let you see who you want to side with. Often side with the working class diggers, the miners. And
Right.
he's basically on the other side.
Gotcha.
I'm going to side with the Richies.
All right, you and Latrobe.
Yeah. 'Cause
Yeah.
I'm all about cash.
Yeah.
And marrying dead sisters.
Yeah.
Hang on.
No, that's not right. It's not a necromancing
I mean,
thing.
he's not that bad.
Is that what necromancing is? Doesn't matter. Please do go on.
Anyway, Governor Latrobe introduced these fees for two reasons. The gold license fees. The first is the fast-growing population had cost the government a lot of money. After all, they had to supply services for all these people. So he hoped to raise revenue with the licenses.
Services such as mani-pedis,
Yes, optional dental,
dental, etc.
Yes.
free salt.
Free salt. Oh my god.
Valet parking.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, he needed cash.
Basically, everyone had a chauffeur.
Yeah.
Painted himself into a corner here.
Yeah, I don't know what he just said. That's all part of the Victorian service.
Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah. Whoop.
There was a time at some point where apparently Melbourne was like the richest city in the world. Very brief time. I think it was around this period because of the
I
gold
imagine
rush.
because of the gold. Yeah.
And it was just flush with cash. But because the population grew so quickly, the sewerage systems and stuff weren't up to scratch, and it started to stink. And apparently then started getting the nickname Smelbourne. Good fun little
That is good stuff.
possible fact
Oh,
there.
yeah. No, I feel
I
like.
remember on the Burke and Wheels. Do you reckon?
Thank
Maybe
you.
that's where I learnt it
Yeah.
when I said it.
Yeah,
You know,
no.
Well,
in
that's good that you
episode number-
retained something from an episode so long ago because I already don't remember last week's episode. And I did it.
Jim Belushi.
Well, you did post about it this week.
Oh,
Hey, we got away with that. No one said anything.
I'd just woken up.
Anyway, last week's episode is about John Belushi, which Jess spoke about for about an hour and a half, and then posted this week's episode's Jim Belushi.
It's because
We talked about it.
Well, because the episodes go live at like 1, and I woke up at about 1:15 after doing radio till 6 in the morning.
All right, man.
Oh, I'm sorry, Triple J National Radio. So I was a little bit delirious and sleepy still. So
Absolutely fair enough.
no, it's not. It's no excuse.
I mean, that makes sense.
Matt caught it so fast and fixed it for me.
I could, but yeah, I was expecting because there were comments, but all the comments were positive. Oh, I can't wait. I'm like, really?
I mean, huh?
Kelly Sue fans, fair enough.
Anyway, Latrobe's... Let's give Jess time to breathe. Latrobe's second reason for having these gold fees. He also hoped the fees would stop people from fleeing the cities to try and strike it rich. The gold rush had been a huge drain on the workforce. So the government are struggling to fill jobs,
Right.
basically, because everyone's left to go get rich.
Good time to be around.
Good time to want a cushy job
Yeah.
in local government.
Only they wouldn't be cushy because you'd be run off your feet.
Yeah, you'd be the one person in that department. You're the sewage person. That's why it smells so bad.
Oh shit!
Because it's Matt doing a whole city.
Oh, all right, great.
Smelly Matt.
That's what they called him. You were alive during this period, am I right?
Yes.
And you were smelly during this period, were you
Yes.
Yeah.
They hadn't invented showers yet, I don't think.
The stench. Oh,
They hadn't invented men body wash, and I will not use any sort of floral body wash. It needs to be in a black container.
Yep.
All right, go for
And
it.
it's got to be suitable for my body, my face, and my head. My hair. Do it all. Body wash.
I hate when you go into a hotel and they've just got one for everything.
No, that's gross.
No.
Yeah, that's gross.
There is a shower gel in my shower that claims to
Do it all.
do all three, which is just weird.
What?
I
You
mean-
need a conditioner, please. Am I right, Matt?
Oh, sure. Obviously, you need a condition.
Yes.
But you do an all-body shampoo, and then you do an all-body condition.
Condition.
And then a condition.
And a condition.
That's the attitude.
So the fees of 30 shillings a month, you asked before if it was a lot. I've got here, regardless if
You're pointing at Matt. I asked before.
I was thinking that. I'm like, no one can hear that he's pointing at me, so it's fine. I won't mention it.
I know. No. I'll bring it up.
Now, Matt, you asked before if it was a lot per month. And I'm going to tell Jess that,
Don't tell Jess. She doesn't give a
she
shit.
doesn't
Tell me.
well, Matt, For the average miner, it was. I'm looking at Jess. For the average miner, it was quite a lot. And it only got harder to pay when the surface gold, this alluvial stuff, began to run out. So this is according to the National Museum of Australia. In 1852, pretty early on, 35,000 miners were in the Victorian goldfields, and they were producing about 5 ounces of gold per head. Not bad.
Wow.
But by 1854, just 2 years later, the population had almost tripled, while production had decreased to just 1.5 ounces per head. So there's a lot less to go around now.
Yeah, and more people.
Yes, so it was getting harder to make a living, and these licenses became quite a point of contention because everyone's paying for them, but not everyone's finding gold.
Yeah. And if somebody was on like a real hot streak of finding gold, you can imagine that everybody else would just be hating them.
Oh, you just hate them, wouldn't you?
Wouldn't you hate them?
Ugh, the worst.
I just hate
Yuck.
'em.
Worst of the worst.
Troopers that were referred to as traps.
Up come the troopers, 1, 2, 3.
Next line.
Matt, that was a little bit derivative.
And they came and they watched and they waited for the willy wool. Who's gonna come over here, there, now? Everybody sing, la 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 la. Waltzing Matilda.
2, 3. Really, I'm loving that some overseas
Jolly,
listeners are
jolly,
getting Aussie
jumbuck.
culture. This is what we're taught
Yeah.
from
Yeah.
a very young age. We all know these songs.
I haven't heard that in a long time, but that was a song I used to hear all the time.
And was that not a mishmash of many songs?
You tell me.
Yes, it was.
I think it was a mishmish.
A mishmish.
It was a mishmish of
Merry Christmas, mishmish.
I think you're looking for the word remix.
But what did you say? Trooper?
Troopers referred to as traps because they're not liked by the diggers.
And they're cops basically.
Yeah, so they conducted searches for diggers' licenses on the goldfields, and they'd send out men to track down those that hadn't paid.
Right.
So they're the po-po, getting in there, enforcing Latrobe's laws, making people cough up cash that they often don't have. There was widespread police corruption at all levels of enforcement as well. The miners claimed the police were extorting money, accepting bribes, and imprisoning people without any due process. The diggers could also be forced by the Gold Commission police to relocate without compensation. So you've worked on a site for a long time, hoping that any day now you find a nugget of gold, and then out of nowhere they could just force you to move on for no reason.
Right.
Just kick you off. And obviously, people hate that. There was obvious malice between diggers and officials and the police, and by 1854, in the month of May, Governor Charles Latrobe resigned in despair at the, quote, atmosphere of insurrection in the goldfields.
Insurrection.
Yeah, so he...
That means can't get a boner.
It's going inside.
Right.
Oh, my God. And imagine if that was the atmosphere doing that.
Oh my god.
Any dicks.
Oh,
That
widespread
would be-
any dicks.
That would be
Widespread. It's like
Because of
chody innies.
Because of the atmosphere.
Wow.
The air was causing it.
That's,
Bloody hell.
I did not know that about the Eureka
So
Stockade.
is that? Do you know what's causing it? Yes, it's the air
It's the
Yeah.
air. And then he was like, I've got to go. I quit.
and the spare, or
No, that's why you have a spare.
Okay.
You keep them in an oxygen-proof chamber. You open the chamber. They've suffocated years ago, but
right.
you thought you'd save them, but you didn't. It's
Funny how
tragic.
the systems I used to have, isn't it?
I know. I really should have thought that through,
Yeah,
but they
technology's really moved so far.
didn't. James, I'll come back when I need you. I'm going to put you in this oxygen-free chamber. Goodbye. James, we need you.
James!
James. Oh, dear. Oh, dear. I should have had a third spare.
A second spare.
No, a third spare. I had two inside the oxygen-proof chamber.
James 1 and James 2.
I no longer have a James. So Charles Latrobe, he's just suddenly quit. He had to wait for the new governor to arrive. Another famous name in Victoria replaced him. Sir
Ian McKellen.
Wow, Gumblegore.
Gumblegore!
Gonna try again?
Are you trying to avoid copyright over there? Oh, Gumblegore's here.
No,
You shall not gasp.
is he Dumbledore or Gandalf?
Gandalf.
Gandalf.
But both together, it's Gumblegore.
Gumblegore.
That's
They
great.
form a supreme wizard being.
They are basically the same character, right?
Look,
Bearded guys.
I'm going to
Beards
tentatively
all
say
look the
yes.
same to me.
So it was Sir
Sir
Charles.
Darwin.
Yes.
What?
No.
Deep-
Riding on a turtle.
Charles.
Tortoise.
They've named a mountain after him.
Oh,
Okay, I got
Dandenong
this.
Ranges.
Charles Blue Mountains.
No, Victorian mountain.
Charles Kosciuszko.
Charles Buller.
Charles.
Charles Buffalo. Charles Hotham.
Charles Hotham. It was Sir Charles Hotham replaced him.
Oh, I'm so mad you got it.
I mean, I did have all the guesses though.
Surprised.
So
Yeah, typical.
yeah,
So
privilege.
I don't know Charles Hotham.
So Charles Hotham arrived. He found the colony's finances in chaos. The deficit for the year was £2 million and revenues were falling sharply. And back then, £2 million is like all the money in the world.
Wow, that's a lot.
That can't be.
Look,
So there was no money left.
all right, it's all the money in the world
in
except,
London.
except for £1.
Wow.
There's £1 going around out there, feeding everyone. It's very...
Wow.
It's a very dangerous
Oh
situation.
no. Oh dear.
According to an article by the Lancaster Infantry Museum that I read, as many as half of the diggers didn't pay for their license fees.
Yeah.
People are evading at all costs.
Ballers.
So Hotham chose to take on the miners and collect the money that the colony badly needed. This meant more police raids, and the divide between the so-called law and the diggers became even greater.
The so-called law. I know which side Dave's sitting on.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
am painting a bit of a biased side here. Most of the diggers hadn't found their fortunes, and anything they did, they found they thought of theirs and theirs alone. And at this stage, they didn't have any rights to vote, so had no hope of overturning the legislation enforcing the taxes.
Right.
See, they've got no say in it, which also was pissing them off. There was a lot of stuff piling up now, and all that was needed was one incident to tip the diggers over the edge.
Oh my god, what's it gonna be? Bad batch of stew.
That's it. Let's build a stockade.
That's it. This is bullshit.
This stew sucks. There was riots in the streets. It was a really bad batch.
That got me so much. This stew sucks. They're like all grumpy teenagers.
Oh, I hate you. Hate you so much, Hotham.
I want to go live with Dad.
You're not even my real dad, Hotham. Latrobe was my real dad, and he's gone. Shacked up with his wife's sister. She's not even my real mum. She's my auntie. Now she's my stepmom. It's very confusing. Very confusing.
This sucks.
But there's one incident that's going to tip them over the edge, and that incident came on October 6th, 1854. Ooh.
Sorry, Dave, before you get to this incident that we are all sitting on the edge of our seats for, honestly,
Cliffhanger.
that sounded like I was being sarcastic then, but I really am. I'd love to talk about this week's sponsor, which is Casper.
Oh, what is Casper?
Well, that's a beautifully asked question. I'd love to answer it for you with these words I've prepared earlier. Casper is a sleep brand that makes expertly designed products to help you get your best rest. One night at a time.
Do you know what I like about Casper?
What do you like about Casper, Jess?
I like that it's designed by humans for humans.
I like that because some of these mattresses out there,
Yeah.
computer designed.
Yeah.
No,
Designed by dogs.
Has a computer ever had a good night's sleep? I mean, sure, you've got that sleep function. Dogs, I heard, on delay there.
Yep.
What do they know about sleep? They design beds that are outside.
Silly dogs.
Casper doesn't do that.
No.
They're humans.
Casper products are cleverly designed to mimic human curves, providing supportive comfort for all kinds of bodies. It's designed for your body.
Dave is the least curvaceous person in the world.
They've got a bed for him.
He's a ruler.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, the ruler bed. Now, the original Casper mattress combines multiple supportive memory foams for a quality sleep surface with the right amounts of sink and bounce.
That's what you want.
Dave, moments ago you didn't know what Casper was, and now you're giving us all these great facts about it.
Because I do my research.
Very good.
One thing I would say about Casper that I love is the convenience. I mean, they're affordable prices, sure. And this is because Casper cuts out the middleman and sells directly to you,
they cut
Jess Perkins.
They cut out the middle
Ooh.
dog as well.
Well, they will do that too. If you normally buy your mattresses from dogs in a dog shop, Then they cut out the middle dog too, of course,
Of
Dave.
course they do.
Also, they deliver it right to your door. Or doggy door if you're a dog, I guess. How do they do that? Well... why are you asking so many questions?
The other thing that I like as well that it's worth mentioning is that they have quite a range. They've got the original Casper, but they also have the Wave and the Essential. So there's something for you.
They've had 20,000 reviews, over that many, and an average of 4.8 stars across Casper, Amazon, and Google. And shall we mention, it's free shipping and returns in the US and Canada. We've got a lot of US and Canadian listeners, so that could be you. You can be sure of your purchase with Casper's 100-night risk-free sleep-on-it trial. Get $50 towards select mattresses by visiting casper.com/dogoon and using the promo code dogoon at the checkout. Terms and conditions apply. So one more time, you get $50 towards select mattresses by visiting casper.com/dogoon, all one word, and using the promo code dogoon at the checkout. So you get a discount, and that's also your way of telling Casper that you came to them through us, and that really helps out the show.
Everyone's a winner, baby.
That's right.
For sure.
Thanks so much, Casper.
Thanks, Casper.
Dave, do go on.
Thank you very much. Now, on to this incident. There's a lot of stuff piling up, as I said, and there was one incident to tip the diggers over the edge.
What was it?
Murder.
Oh.
Oh, dang it.
It was targeted.
Murder.
Well, it was Scottish miner James Scobie.
Scobie. Not the
Scobie.
most Scottish sounding name I've ever
Sorry,
heard.
James Scotchy.
Scobie.
Scobie. He's done a wee Scobie. James Scobie went to the Bentley's Hotel to have a drink with a friend, Peter Martin.
No big deal. Just having a drink with a friend.
No, but there was a big deal because when they got to the pub, the place was shut. And Martin claims a hand smashed through a window and hit James Scobie.
Okay, that is odd.
It's also been said that
Did the piano you play stop?
Well, he couldn't before. No, it's also been said that Scobie tried to break into the closed pub. To me,
Yeah.
that makes more sense.
That makes a lot more
Rather than
sense.
someone punching through a window to punch you, why would they do that?
Just come outside and punch me.
That's pretty badass if that is what
yeah,
someone
it's
did.
so good.
Yeah, that's cool.
Or super coward punch. I'm not sure which.
Through a window.
Somewhere in both.
Either way, a scuffle broke out between Scobie, his mate, and the people inside the pub, and Scobie tried to fight back, but his friend Martin dragged him away. The pub owner, James Bentley, and his staff, thinking that Scobie had smashed the window, which he may have done, tried to break into their pub. They followed the men and attacked them. Scobie was hit with what Martin described as something resembling an axe,
Oh.
possibly an axe. Scobie died of his injuries. Murder.
I'm so confused. Wait, so either he was in the pub,
No, so
enjoying
it was
the
closed.
pub. Oh, it was closed.
So either he tried to break in and smashed a window, or someone smashed a window to punch him
Oh, through the pub.
through the pub.
And he was walking past.
Walking past.
Yeah.
That's what his mate says. It
That's
sounds
a little far-fetched.
But basically, a scuffle broke out. Scobie was murdered. An inquest into his death was held that same afternoon.
Scuffle. People don't die in scuffles.
Yeah.
That's not a scuffle.
That's a brawl.
That's a brawl, Dave.
A really big scuffle broke out. Really big.
Dave, say brawl.
It's not big enough to be a brawl, Jess. It's a legal definition.
Wow, he's good.
It's a big...
He's by the book, our Dave.
Yeah.
Thank you. Well, something that wasn't by the book was the inquest that they held that day.
They did it via
Inquest to the...
stars.
Murder.
There you go.
Oh, okay.
An inquest to the stars about murder. At the inquest, James Bentley, the pub owner, he was the one that was accused of killing Scobie. He denied taking part in the death, despite the evidence against him.
The evidence was that people witnessed him yelling, "Die!
Die!
Die!"
And my axe to your face. The local miners...
Giblets.
Giblets. My favourite character. Him
Oh,
and
Giblet.
Gumblegore.
So he got off,
Oh.
and then he was released. So what
He
did they-
bloody loves it. He bloody loves a broken glass window, punch to the face, murder.
No, the local miners felt that justice had not been served and were frustrated with what they saw as a dodgy decision made against one of their own. One of the court members was a police magistrate well known to have taken bribes from Bentley, the guy accused of murder.
How very interesting.
The diggers came together and began to protest this miscarriage of justice. Their anger came to a head when 10 days after Scobie's death, a group of 5,000 to 10,000 men and women gathered together to discuss the case.
That is a big discrepancy.
It's also very difficult for 5,000 or 10,000 people to discuss anything.
Good point. Oh my God, imagine being in that group chat.
Hey, guys, no, my turn. No. Let's listen to what Jess has to say. Okay, hey, you 8,000 over the back. Come on. A small group decided to take action into their own hands, and they burnt the Bentley Hotel to the ground. Whoa. So they burnt the pub that the guy who was accused of murder and got off, he owned the pub. Some of the arsonists were arrested for their crimes and sent to 6 months in jail.
Whoa.
A few days went past, and a new witness came forward that implicated the pub owner in the murder, and he was eventually found guilty of manslaughter and sent to 3 years hard labour.
I did not know any of this.
Huh.
Really?
Hard
Really?
labour. 3 years of hard labour for manslaughter.
That's interesting.
This event is seen as pivotal in the lead up to the culmination of this story. This was the...
Oh God, we haven't got to the story yet.
Just this is
Pivotal in the
preamble.
culmination of the preamble.
No, this was the first major time the diggers had come together in such numbers and rebelled against authority. I think that they were just starting to see the power that the people united has.
Power to the people.
That's right. Over the next weeks, the miners met and elected leaders who approached the new Victorian governor, Charles Hotham. They demanded the release of the men who burnt down Bentley's hotel and cheaper miners' licenses. But the governor, being a bit of a wanker, took offence to having demands made of him and dismissed their grievances.
Get out of my chambers. I'm trying to have a bath.
Oh, was he having a bath? You didn't mention that, Dave.
He was having a bath. In blood of the miners, the common man.
Was he some sort of a vampire governor?
They don't bathe in it.
Oh.
They drink it.
Oh. What do
It's
you-
arguably worse. Yuck.
You need a lot less to drink than to bathe in.
Good point.
I mean, what average
Arguably
person's
better.
what, about 6 litres? You fill in a 200-litre bath. Oh my God.
Yeah.
You've killed a lot of people.
Just for a bath.
So Hotham's a bit of a wanker, but sensing that these people should be completely ignored, he then dispatched 150 British soldiers from the 40th Regiment of Foot to Ballarat to reinforce the police and soldiers already stationed there. Just in case shit started to get real, he sent in some reinforcements.
Oh dear.
And on the way over to reinforce their colleagues, it did get real, Jess.
Uh-oh.
It did.
Spaghetti-o.
An army baggage cart was stopped by armed... Imagine was that. It was stopped. Ooh. By armed diggers. A soldier was badly beaten and a drummer boy was shot in the leg.
Oh my God, not the drummer
I know.
boy.
He's the most innocent of all boys.
Parappa-pum-pum.
Hopefully, yeah, especially, I mean, leg at first, I'm like, oh, thank God it was only his leg. He can still drum. But drummer boys often had those symbols between their knees.
Oh, no.
So that, I mean, hopefully he's not one of them because that, I mean, he can't do any of the crashes. Well, no, I'm thinking of one-man bands.
Yeah, he was not a one-man band. He was a one-man drummer boy.
Okay. Thank God.
Thank goodness.
Thank God.
Elsewhere, diggers attacked mounted policemen with clubs and stones. So violence is starting to take place here. Sensing a change in atmosphere, the diggers held another mass meeting on November the 29th at Bakery Hill.
There's a McDonald's at Bakery Hill.
Isn't that beautiful?
They met in the McDonald's car park of Bakery Hill.
Pete Jones in the room next to us currently, as at the time of recording.
From the Kentucky Fried Chatting podcast.
That's his,
Pete
I
Jones.
believe, his favourite McDonald's in Ballarat.
That is a fun fact. I think people have just pulled over. People who were driving down the highway have gone, I need to take a moment.
Yeah.
Need a breather.
No, what they need to do is call their friends because what they've just realised is that I know that about my very good friend Pete. But do they know
So they know
their
what
friends' favourite McDonald's?
in Ballarat?
Or
Doubt it.
anywhere? I doubt it. Just ask a question. Just reach out to one another.
Yeah.
Connect. Get off your phones.
Yeah.
Connect with one another.
My favourite one is the one that has the two big arches that from a certain angle it looks like it spells M.
Boobs.
Is that the original one?
Yeah, it was the one that Jess talked about in the McDonald's episode.
Yeah, it looks like boobs.
At a certain angle, looks very sexy. Anyway, they're at Bakery Hill. 10,000 of them congregated to hear the news of what Hotham said to their demands. When they were told he ignored their pleas, they decided to form the Ballarat Reform League. So
BRL.
The BRL.
Brrl.
Bro.
The BRL.
Bro.
A Canadian miner called Captain, in quotation marks, Henry Ross,
In
produced
quotation marks.
Captain Henry Ross produced a flag stitched together by English women Anastasia Withers, Anne Duke, and Anastasia Hayes. It was a white cross with a star at the end of each arm on a blue background. They called it the Southern Cross, and it was hoisted up a flagpole as a symbol of their resistance.
I hadn't yet discovered the actual Southern Cross.
Pardon?
I mean, there is a Southern Cross.
That's right, the constellation.
And they hadn't figured that one out yet, I'm guessing. Or chose to ignore it and make up their own Southern Cross.
Well, I think this was I'm assuming this is their bad attempt at it. Was it?
Yeah, sort of. I think it's to represent.
I mean, the Southern Cross, to me, it looks like an off. It's kind of a skew-if diamond, if anything. Who's seen a cross in that anyway?
That should be. That's what it should be
The
called.
skew-if cross.
Yeah.
No, the skew-if
Skew-if diamond. Fuck.
The Australian skew-if diamond. Get that tatted on your leg, mate.
Oh, beautiful.
Anyway, the group gathered before...
My granddad died under the skew-if diamond.
The group gathered before and saluted the flag. In Australia, this is a very famous flag and to this day still used as a symbol by labour groups and unions.
Yes.
The meeting passed a resolution, quote, that it is the inalienable right of every citizen to have a voice in making the laws he is called on to obey, and that taxation without representation is tyranny, end quote. So that's what they're gathering towards. They want to be able to vote, and they do not want to be taxed unless they vote. The newly reformed league shot their guns into the air and threw their gold mining licenses onto the fire.
Yeah, stick it to the man.
Yeah.
Did the bullets rain back down on them?
No, they shot them at appropriate angles.
Oh, okay.
You're right. But they rained down on someone.
Oh, that's good.
That's something I never really thought about.
Yeah.
Like
It's
as a
gotta
kid, I
come
just
down.
it doesn't disappear into the sky.
Surely in the history of humanity, someone has shot it into the air and has just come down and hit an innocent person.
Yeah,
Just a few miles away.
bloody hell. No
Makes you-
good. Makes you think, doesn't it?
I'm going to think twice next time I fire my gun into the air haphazardly.
Well,
Yeah.
I have been just willy-nilly 21 gun salute for everything.
Yeah.
And
Oh, my wheat bix were delicious this morning.
21.
Fuck. Anyone counting so far?
I think it was 6.
So I'm just buying my bullets at the self-scanning register before I go and shoot them.
You're buying the bullets one at a time. They don't have a value pack.
Nah.
One bullet you're buying at
Yeah,
a
1
time.
cent a piece. It's a real good deal.
It is a good deal.
Okay. I know, keep going.
All right, now I'm going to load the gun.
What does that sound like? How many does this gun hold? That's 3. 4. 5 chickers. 6. That sounds appropriate. No, okay, it's got more than that.
It's a 7-shooter.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
3 full rounds, and you do your 21 gun salute. Is that what you said?
Is the silencer off? Can you take the silencer off?
Oh.
It's more effective that way. Thank you. Oh, wow. Can you stop kicking that dog under the table and start firing the gun?
Sorry, I forgot what we're doing here. Sorry, pup. Sorry, I'm going to sell someone that pup later.
Yeah, people thought you were firing a gun, but you were just kicking a pup. All right, so you've done 3 with the silencer. 4 more to go.
You want me to do the other? Yeah, the rest.
Just do the rest of this clip.
Okay, and then we'll do the others after the show. Right?
Okay.
The silence off now.
4 more without the silencer.
Okay, great. Sorry, that dog is really.
Wow.
Sorry, mate. Just give us 1 second. It needs to be fed.
Mate, come on, just let us fire the gun. Did you just pop a champagne bottle? Because we've only done 3 bullets.
I was ready to celebrate, but I forgot. The job at hand needs to get completed before we celebrate.
4 more to go, and then we'll have some
All
champagne.
right, sorry. All right, here we go. Last 4. No!
Oh my god.
Sorry, someone just put their hand up my chauffeur.
All right. Well, sorry about that. I won't put my hand up there. 4 more to go.
Okay, just let me bloody shoot this gun, will you?
Oh, okay. That was 1. That's 2. Oh, up the chuff again. Sorry about that.
Dave, please, I'm trying to shoot my fucking gun.
Oh, sorry, I'll let you get your load off.
The cops are here. I got
Well, because you've been shooting a gun into the air and kicking a dog.
fucking fuck. All right. The ambo was
Oh my god, the ambulance.
crook.
Well, did you just step on something?
Just cannot shoot.
Did you step on that champagne bottle?
Yeah, crunched it. All right, here we go. Bang. Bang. Bang.
Oh, you got 1 more bullet to go.
Bang.
Wow, the 7-shot salute, finally. Oh, wow, so you just do that 3 times, Jess, every time you want to celebrate something. Is that correct?
Absolutely.
Well, that will not be tedious. I imagine you'll trim that out.
No, leave all of that
way,
fucking
that is great.
gold
And
in.
hopefully coming to a Dugo automation to you somewhere soon.
Good luck.
Good luck, Joe Didier. John. All
What
right.
are we talking about?
The authorities started to sense that something was going on, mainly because dogs were being kicked, champagne bottles popped, and guns being shot into the air. So what better way than to stop this craziness than to add fuel to the fire and go on another gold license hunt? As they moved from tent to tent demanding these licenses, this is the police, a large group of diggers decided they'd had enough. A man named Peter Lalor stepped forth, clutching a rifle, and demanded that his fellow diggers take up arms and stand up for their, quote, rights and liberties. About 500 answered his war cry, and this group marched back to...
Sorry, Dave. His war cry? Matt, what did that sound
What
like?
did that sound like?
Let's get them, boys.
I reckon it did.
Yeah.
And with that war cry, they went to Bakery Hill.
Yeah, that's where all the wars start.
Back up to the Macca's car park.
Couple of Happy Meals.
The flag was still flying there, Happy Meal in hand. Beneath this flag, Peter Lalor, who became the leader of the Ballarat Reform League, swore, this is a famous quote in Victorian history, "We swear by the Southern Cross to stand truly by each other and to fight to defend our rights and liberties."
To party.
And to party.
So Ballarat is still the party capital of Australia.
Oh, yeah.
His mum walked in and said, "What's that noise?" I'm just jealous. It's the Ballarat boys. BC boys. All right. So who was this hero? Are you asking, Jess? Thank you for saving me there. I didn't realise you guys were not as down with hip-hop as me.
We do not have licenses to ill or otherwise.
Just to kill.
Just to kill.
So who was this hero, Jess? Well, I'll answer that question. Peter Lalor was born in Ireland in 1827. He was the youngest of 11 children. Meaning
Too many.
we have to
Quick
ask,
question.
why not stop at 10?
Correct. Thank you.
And also, do they know what was causing it?
11. Ugh.
The youngest of 11.
See, my mum,
It's a Baker's Hill dozen.
Very good.
mum's one of 9 kids, which means there's 11 in their family. They should have, I mean, it would have been nice if there was 10 of them, but that would mean that my Uncle Jeff wasn't alive. And he's arguably my favourite.
Stinky Jeff.
Stinky Jeff.
I mean, I like that you got rid of Jeff before just adding another child. That would have taken...
No, 12.
No, that's not right. 12.
12 would bother me
that
a
not
little bit
enough?
too.
A
No.
dozen. Dirty dozen.
Sure, that's fine. Oh, yeah. No. You guys don't get it.
Yeah, we don't get the number. I'm so sorry.
It's a weird thing. I don't know.
It's got to be round numbers.
Yeah.
It's got to be in groups of 10
Yeah.
or 5.
Yeah.
12, so 12's not good, even though it's divisible by 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, and 12.
Great point.
Pretty good.
Now that you've put it into maths terms
Yeah,
for me.
thank you.
Now, if you could just relate it to geography, my other strength, then you'll fully have me on board. Do you even fucking know who you're talking to?
Dave.
She asks us that a lot off air. She says that. Do you know who I am? Do you know who you're fucking talking to?
Do not look me in the eye.
I just
you
did.
scum
I just
people.
did. I'm
That's
so
what I
sorry.
say.
Anyway, back to Peter Lalor, one of 11 children. He was a trained engineer and originally moved to Melbourne to work on the Geelong-Melbourne railway line, but like so many, deserted his job to go to the gold rush.
Wow.
He was reportedly a charismatic man, well-spoken, and he was elected as the rebellion's leader, as I stated. Lalor,
Come, boys, let's get him. So charismatic.
And sounds really Irish too.
To be sure he does. I mean me. I does. Yes. Thank you and good night.
The Queen was there.
now I'm saying Lalor. It's actually spelled Lalor. I read that you say it, that they said Lalor. And the suburb that we call Lalor,
Lalor.
Lalor is named after him, even though they now say it wrong.
I did not know that.
Yeah, but at the time, what I've read is Lalor, but obviously when you see it written down, it does look like Layla.
I think in like
You got me on my knees.
Lalor. Lalor, I should say, and the 500 or so rebels that had joined him threw up a ramshackle stockade around an acre or so under their Southern Cross flag. A German
Must have been a big night if they were throwing up a ramshackle stockade the next day.
sounds like a few of Matt's weekend.
well, like any big night, it involved a German blacksmith.
Yeah.
Who
yeah.
hammered out some crude pikes.
That's a sex position, of course.
Baby, what do you reckon? That we do the German blacksmith. It's a special occasion.
I'll get the horseshoes ready.
Clop, 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 clop.
A lot of role play going on there.
Yeah. Gotta keep it fresh.
So the blacksmith hung out and hammered out some crude pikes, and others gathered timber from the nearby mine shafts and created a stockade. And if you're not familiar with a stockade, basically it's just a small wooden fence-type fortification to stand behind as defence.
They made a picket fence.
I was not sure what it was. Okay.
You weren't sure? Oh, right, sure. And I only knew what it was because of this story, I imagine.
Because researching this story for this exact podcast.
No, but just growing up, because
so you learnt this quite recently.
I knew this from Sovereign Hill.
Doubt it.
Which we can talk about at the end of this episode if you like.
No.
All right. Which we will not talk about at the end of the episode. Hastily built. This is the stockade. I'm trying to move on quickly for you, Jess. It wasn't meant to be a giant fortress or anything. In the words of Lalor, quote, it was nothing more than an enclosure to keep our own men together and was never erected with an eye to military defence. It's been criticised over the years because people see there's like paintings and stuff of it and it looks pretty shitty. People are like, how are you going to win a war with that? And basically it was just a little structure.
Yeah.
And his plan was if shit got really real, they'd run away, lead the invaders to another part and then have their last stand. So it wasn't even going to be the place where they, laid down their guns and died.
Wow.
But over the next 2 days, the men and women remained in and around the stockade, many performing military drills in preparation for possible conflict. A military structure was assembled and people were divided into brigades led by different assigned captains. 200 Americans arrived at the stockade to aid in the rebellion. Most of these people were armed with revolvers and possessed horses and were a welcome addition. They brought in some new supplies with them. But nearly all of this group left to ambush a group of enemy soldiers and police that they had heard were arriving from Melbourne. Many of the other men and women left on the Saturday night thinking it not possible that the police would attack on the Sabbath of a Sunday. So now there was only about 150 people left inside the stockade.
It feels like you're mentioning these things because that's not good.
The commissioner of the Ballarat Goldfields, Robert Reed, had no intention of observing the Sabbath.
Oh, what?
Incensed by the rebels practicing military drills, he called for the police and army to destroy the stockade at first light on Sunday, the 3rd of December. Apparently, he was also very well informed by spies from within the stockade and knew that most of the men and women had left by this point.
Do you know what snitches get?
Not good Christmas presents.
Correct.
Riches?
Yep.
Yeah.
Really? I guess they do. They
Sell
probably
them out
get
all the way to the bank.
Really pays to be a snitch.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, they get a bad rap.
They do.
But really, they're just savvy.
Yeah. Good business people.
Yeah, if they're thinking they're putting them first. And sometimes you have to do that.
in this bloody world, don't you?
Ugh, you're not wrong.
Ugh. Tell you what, I'm not
Wrong.
wrong. What you said.
Yeah.
Just underlining that.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Well worth underlining.
Thank you.
Tell you what you're not.
What's that?
Gonna hold me up anymore. Okay. At 3 a.m. on Sunday, the 3rd of December, a party of 276 soldiers and police under the command of Captain...
They're partying now, Jess.
3 a.m. is first light.
I knew there was going to be a party reference. Party dude. First light. No, so they're getting ready for first light.
Oh.
So at 3 a.m. they get together under the command of Captain John W. Thomas.
Thomastown.
Party boy.
Oh.
Yeah, party boy. You know him. Under that, the 276 soldiers approached the Eureka Stockade. Thomas reasoned that most diggers would be asleep or still drunk from the night before. The perfect time to sneak up on them and catch them unawares.
Bananas and pajamas style.
Do not sneak up on me when I'm hungover. Oh,
good.
boy.
What about if you're still
Unless
drunk?
you're sneaking up with a Gatorade and some hot chippies.
Yeah.
Then come on over.
Maybe an orange juice.
Help me
Ooh.
get in the shower.
Couple of...
Plastic chair in the shower.
Yeah. No, let me sit on the floor.
Okay.
I deserve that.
Yeah, that's true.
You got to get the water pretty hot, I find, because by the time it gets to the floor, you've lost most of the temperature.
Do you reckon?
It's a disgrace.
Oh, but you are tiny.
Yeah, I'm so close to the... I am, well, I'm in the drain.
You're picturing like some sort of like a Honey, I Shrunk the Kids scenario
Oh, yeah.
where he's in this shower where it's...
Huge droplets.
Yeah.
And he has to dodge them or he'll drown.
And there's a beetle there who he's friends with. And he rides a bee.
really
Is that what you're
fun.
thinking?
Yeah. Do you have fun, Dave?
I had a great day.
Do you like showers?
Thanks for shrinking me, Jess.
Every shower.
Every shower is possible death. But I don't want to smell, so worth the risk. So they're sneaking up on the stockade. Thomas, the man in charge, ordered no shooting unless his bugler gave the signal.
Is that the signal?
Yeah. Obviously.
It's quite a good
Why
one.
else would I make a silly sound in the middle of our report if not to help the story?
I thought you might have been gassy.
Matt made a fart joke. Pretty happy with that one.
Hooray!
Burp joke.
140 episodes.
Finally on board. You finally get humour. Appreciate it.
Welcome.
At dawn, they were spotted less than 200 yards from the stockade. So that now there's a bit of light.
How far's a yard?
That's like most of a meter. It's like 80 centimeters or something like that. 70 something?
91.
91. Fuck.
91?
Yeah.
Oh, why?
Is it a certain amount of feet?
I mean, most things that are non-metric don't convert to metric very well.
That makes no sense. 91. 90's stupid enough.
91, but that's comparing any measurement to any measurement. But because that 91 is 100% of a yard.
Wow. Good point.
But how many, what goes, this doesn't matter. But is it feet and inches going to a yard? Or is that just something else? It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. Sorry, Dave. I didn't know how far 200 yards was.
I do know that ex-Prime Minister Bob Hawke for a while held the world record for sculling a yard glass, which is a yard of beer.
Oh, he's all class, isn't he?
All class. Bob Hawke.
Oh,
Yeah, what a
Bobby
guy.
Hawke. Sorry, Dave. So it's, yeah, okay.
So sneaking up.
I have a visual picture now. Thank
1
you.
yard equals 3 feet. You happy with that?
Sure.
3 feet.
Like 3 foot longs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tell it to me in sandwiches.
So they were spotted less than 200.
But how many? 6 inches.
Well, 6.
Ah. Wow. Got it.
At dawn, they were spotted less than 200 yards from the stockade. Bit of light coming up now. It's debated as to who shot first. Probably Greedo, am I right?
Is he the one,
Star
not
Wars
Han
reference. Yeah.
Solo? Hans
Zimmer.
Hans Zimmerman. That's Bob. Is that Bob Dylan's real name? Who cares?
Robert Zimmerman.
Robert Zimmerman. He invented the Zimmer frame.
But anyway, I'm trying to get to the bit where they start shooting each other. Shots started ringing out from both sides, and then Thomas's bugle gave the signal, as if it wasn't already apparent.
Jess, if you want to step out.
We can pause if you need some time.
No. Show must go on.
So now there's bullets flying everywhere. The Diggers' leader, Peter Lalor, was among the first casualties, badly wounded.
Oh.
During the heart of the battle, he had been shot in his left arm. He then took refuge under some timber and was smuggled out of the stockade and hidden.
In someone's
Like
chuff.
heroin.
He was hidden in a chuff.
He got muled out of there.
His arm was later amputated.
Not his left one. That's my favourite one.
That's my favourite of Peter's arms.
Yeah.
The miners were easily outgunned, taken by surprise, and outsmarted by the professional soldiers. There was a brief, vicious fight inside the stockade before the Diggers surrendered, and Captain Thomas ordered a ceasefire. The assault was over in 15 minutes, with at least 22 diggers, including one woman, and 6 soldiers losing their lives. According to Lalor's report, 14 miners, mostly Irish, died inside the stockade, and an additional 8 later died from the injuries that they sustained. So,
These are like miners as in gold diggers.
yes. So 22 gold diggers and 8 police or soldiers.
15 minutes.
That would
So
have
the-
felt like an eternity, though.
Yeah.
Oh, because it takes so long.
But
to
so you
reload
said
your
they
gun.
were outgunned, outsmarted,
and
did-
taken by surprise.
and
in the
taken
middle
by
of the night.
surprise. They're the big three.
Yeah. Feels like you need
But they had a
less
great structure at least. Oh no, fuck. All
Oh
right.
no, they did. They had a stockade, a small fence, a very small fence.
Chickens couldn't get in.
Or out.
No, but they could get out. It's very.
Oh.
It worked against them,
They had a little chicken flap in them.
but it only went one way. Out for some reason. They installed it backwards. One
It
of
was
the
meant to be an elaborate chicken trap. It was just, but they fucked it.
It ended up being the opposite. One of the soldiers, John King, stole the Eureka flag as a souvenir. He ran off with it.
Oh, does it still exist?
We'll talk about it.
It does.
The police arrested and detained 113 of the miners, so a lot of them. Eventually,
Just
only...
arrest 2 more.
All right, we're going to need to arrest 2 more.
I would have let a few go.
Yeah, we'll have to let 3 go.
Thank you. See, now
Let
you get
13 go, Jess. Wouldn't that be?
Oh, that would be much better. Thank
Jess,
you.
how about this? They let 100 go because eventually only 13 leaders were taken to Melbourne to stand trial.
I mean, they let 100 go.
Yeah, that's all right.
It's a nice amount of people to let go.
If we look at it that way, sure. But the 13, I don't love that.
It's a Baker's Hill dozen
13, unlucky number.
for those 13.
Well, actually not because they were...
They all won lotto that day.
Yeah, they went in on a single ticket. No, they were lucky because, I say lucky, but only 13 were taken because the press and the public were, in the most part, on the side of the miners.
Right.
And eventually, Jess obviously not on the side of the miners. She
It's a weird-
spat. It
Furious.
That's the weirdest sneeze I've ever done in my life.
was like, boom.
I thought you'd shot a gun for a second.
It sounded more like a gunshot than anything we've heard on this podcast so far.
Sorry. So the public and the press are on the side of the miners.
And eventually they got so behind them, they were all released to great public acclaim.
Holy shit.
Public acclaim.
Yeah. So it was more
deals.
like these working class guys were standing up for everyone's rights. Woo! Throughout this time, Peter Lalor, the leader, had been lying low and hiding out. Hotham offered a reward of £200.
Lying low and hiding out. Ah,
That's the big 2.
His bed was he didn't have a frame, it was just a mattress on the ground.
you're right.
And he had his legs out the window for temperature control. He got very hot.
Hot feet.
He got very hot on his right remaining arm. Hotham offered a reward of £200 for information leading to the apprehension of a, quote, person of the name of Lalor, misspelled. Height 5'11", age 35, hair dark brown, whiskers dark brown, shaved under the chin, no mustache, long face, rather good looking, and a well-made man.
Do you reckon if you were Lalor and you saw that wanted sign, you'd be like, rather good looking, thank you.
Oh, okay, I'm coming.
Yoo-hoo!
Yeah, that was his plan all along. Flatter him. And I'd also like to cast this man in a feature film. So if you could reach out to me via his agent or himself.
Also, we assume massive schlong.
I reckon he's got a big old ding-donger. I mean, it goes without saying,
I
Jess.
started that sentence not fully knowing where I was going with it.
You started with and a massive.
No, I knew
Wait.
the general theme, but I didn't think schlong
Schlong.
was going to come out. I'm so sorry.
It's a great word. It
Yeah,
really
It's
is.
schlong.
not.
It sounds big.
It's
Yeah,
fun to
sounds-
say.
A small one can't be called a schlong.
No, it's got a schlort.
So there's a reward on Lawler's head, but no one came forward for it because the public were very much on the side of the diggers, as I said, and they weren't going to sell out the leader of it all. He was seen as like a real rebel. But going through. Whilst hiding out, Lawler's damaged arm was amputated, and according to the online Australian Dictionary of Biography, legend has it that Lalor, recovering consciousness during the operation and seeing one of the doctors with signs of faintness, yelled at him, "Courage! Courage! Take it off!" What a guy.
He was actually talking to him about taking his shirt off.
Take it off.
He called his shirt Courage. He's a strange man.
Courage, take it off. I'm very hot. As I said earlier, get my legs out the window. I need strict temperature control. My massive schlong keeps me warm. Lalor remained concealed in Ballarat for several weeks, and from there he was taken to Geelong, where he was cared for by Alicia Dunn, and he married her on the 10th of July, 1855 at St Mary's Church. Isn't that lovely?
That's cute. Why haven't they made a rom-com about that? Oh, it's not that it's not that com, is it?
Nah, not enough com.
Bit rommy though.
Rommy.
Make a rommy about
not
it.
enough com.
Make a bit more commy.
Okay. Not red enough for me. The public rallied behind Lalor and bought him 160 acres of good land near Ballarat. They did a bit of a crowdfund for him.
160 acres.
You know what else is currently being crowdfunded? That is gloveless
No.
finger palm coolers by Dougal, and we're up to over $200 in donations.
Are you really?
Of 10,000,
Stop.
which is about 2% overall. So 98% to go in 3 weeks, and I'll be making a living off it. So get involved. Jess didn't put a link in the description of last week's episode, but I will. So click below, check it out.
You said there'll be a link, and I said there absolutely will not be a link.
I
And
checked, there wasn't.
I do not lie.
No.
Like my hips don't lie.
They do not lie. I was thinking,
Where's she going with this?
Yeah.
Why'd she bring up her
she didn't
hips
even
all
know.
of a sudden?
I'm surprised it didn't end in the word schlong that time.
I'm
My
surprised
hips
too.
don't schlong.
Just before the diggers were acquitted at trial, the reward for Lawler's capture was withdrawn. Amazingly, the colonists generally shared Lalor's judgment of the stockade, even the people in government. This was written about him. Neither anarchy, bloodshed, nor plunder were the objects of those engaged. Stern necessity alone forced them to do it. So even everyone eventually agreed, yeah, you had it pretty tough.
Yeah.
You did the right thing.
They were protesting unfair conditions.
Totally. And he never faced any legal consequences for his actions. The outcome of the rebellion was very positive in the long run. Governor Hotham's promised Goldfield commission came out because out of this he basically said, all right, I'll look into it. I'll look into it now. About the similar time that Lawler's reward was revoked, digging licence fees were abolished, replaced by a £1 per year claim title deed, which also gave a digger the right to vote in council elections.
Wow.
So there are two things there that they were asking for. Lost revenue was made up with a new export tax on gold bullion. The rebellion had effected a real change. In the assembly, Lalor spoke out for the interest of the diggers, and he successfully advocated compensation for the victims of Eureka. So the families were
Holy
given
shit.
compensation for the people that were killed.
Good. They shouldn't have been killed.
Charles Hotham.
Let's use our words.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they were there shooting at the cops.
Yeah, with their words.
They were the words. They were spitting rhymes so fast. And it sounded a little something. No, it didn't. Charles Hotham died a year later, so he didn't stick around for long.
Charlie.
But it turned out that Peter Lawler's political life was only just beginning.
Uh-oh.
He became the first digger elected to the Legislative Council, so he became a career politician. By 1880, he was Speaker of the House of Assembly, a position he held for 7 years, which is a very high position. He died at 62 in 1889. So he,
Holy shit, that's kind of cool.
did really well out of it.
He would have been in Victorian Parliament when Burke and Wills were expeditioning.
Yeah, I wonder if they knew each other.
And when the Australian rules football was kicking off and stuff.
That's very exciting.
So much
Exciting
stuff
times.
happened. Yeah, so many. It's like a lot of the Australian-based episodes have been around that
Around this.
back end of the 1800s.
What a time to be alive in Smelbourne.
Yeah.
What a clever nickname.
That's something I did. I was starting to remember that before he got there, that he got into politics. I think, and maybe I did learn a bit about it at primary school. I just can't. Very vague memories. A long time ago.
Definitely is.
Probably around that time.
Yeah, it was around that time. Well, at the time, it wasn't history. It was current affairs.
Yeah.
They just read out the newspaper one morning.
Yeah.
And you remember that.
Yeah.
Which is good of you.
The Geelong Advertiser.
Obviously.
Just as future employer.
Yes. Yeah. It was like Back to the Future, though. So everyone's like, they were played by the same actor, just with like old-timey clothes. So there was someone there called Jessica Perkins' grandma. Great-grandma.
Nice.
Oh.
And you guys, neither of you have seen Back to the Future.
Yeah, we
so-
have.
Oh, have you? That was something I really always loved about it. They just had every generation had the same actors, with a slightly different name.
They probably there were different names because my name is Jessica Perkins. That's the thing.
Yeah, but your name is not Jessica Perkins' great grandma.
Good
Yeah.
point.
Yeah,
Good
hyphenated. You dropped that hyphen name.
Yeah. After the war.
I'm just going to wrap up here with the legacy of the Eureka Rebellion or the Eureka Stockade. Today, the Eureka Stockade is seen by many as the birth of democracy in Australia, and it's one of the most influential things to ever happen in our home state of Victoria. Many things are named after the Eureka Stockade, including Melbourne's tallest building, Eureka Tower.
Yep.
The Eureka Stockade story has been incorporated into the design. I didn't know this. The building's gold crown represents the gold rush. A red stripe represents the blood spilt during the revolt. The blue glass cladding that covers most of the building represents the blue background of the stockade's flag. And the white lines also represent the innermost parts of the flag.
I didn't know that. That's cool. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Did you know that?
Didn't know that, but I mean, they're really shoehorning some of that.
Oh,
you know,
big time. But that's cool.
Beautiful
Beautiful building.
shoehorning.
It is hard. I mean,
Shoehorning? Wait, are these guys doing the German blacksmith?
it is difficult to.
They're doing the reverse German blacksmith.
So, yes, that's with shoehorns, not horseshoes.
Yeah.
It is difficult to finish the report with fun facts, which is why I did not package that as a fun fact.
Oh, it wasn't that fun.
I thought that was a fun fact.
I wouldn't tell that at a dinner party.
Well, you've really swapped there. Jess seemed quite like, yeah, and you were like, nah, it's pretty boring, and then now you're like, oh yeah, Jess is like, that's fucking
Yeah,
boring.
we keep you guessing.
Yeah.
That was a good fact. I think the designers going, you know, they were,
Oh, there's often a lot of pump and wank, isn't there,
Yeah.
to get picked out of the
Yeah.
40 architects that probably submitted for that design.
if they really wanted it to be an homage, right? Surely you'd
Be a what, sorry?
an homage.
Uh-huh.
You'd put that old school Southern Cross on there or something. But
Yeah.
I mean, they named it the Eureka. Jesus, all right. Nothing against anyone. Good on you all.
Wow.
Now, Australian soldiers are colloquially referred to as diggers. Popularised during the First World War, there's debate as to where the term exactly came from, but many point to Australian soldiers calling themselves diggers, reflecting the mateship and independent spirit of the Eureka people.
Ah, that's kind of cool. I actually didn't know where diggers came from.
I mean, also they did dig trenches,
Sure. So,
and often they did it for their lives. Like in landing at Gallipoli, you got to dig to
All
create
right.
any form of barrier. But that,
so we're good at digging.
yeah, and some people refer to this though as why they're called diggers. Now, the final fact here, amazingly, the original Eureka flag survived, Matt.
Matt, that's the question you asked earlier.
Trooper John King retained the flag and it was held by his family for 40 years till it was lent to the Ballarat Fine Art Gallery in 1895. It's quite damaged and bits are missing, but it can still be seen in a Ballarat museum today. The original one, it's all framed and it's got corners missing off it and it's a bit cut up. But it is the original flag.
That's pretty amazing. Because
That's sick.
keep in mind too that like Australia is a very, very new country relative to a lot of other places in the world. So like
Yes.
You
Talking
go-
about white Australia, it's like one of the
Yes.
youngest.
that's right. So like, you know, buildings that are 100 years old here are heritage listed and amazing. And then you go to like Europe and you see things that are centuries and you're like, okay, we're very new. So something that happened in the late 1800s for that to still be around is we go, wow.
Yeah, that's right. Whereas
How amazing.
go to Europe and things are. But then at the same time, Indigenous Australian culture is the oldest
Yeah.
surviving culture in the world,
Yeah.
which is hectic.
Yeah. that's
50,000 years, 60,000 years.
something.
I think they often, every time they discover new things, they realise, hang on,
it's even
they've
further
been
back.
here for a long, long, long,
Yeah.
long time.
Yeah, you're right. Sorry. So
Isn't that, yeah, that's
white Australia, very new.
it is a weird thing when you go to buildings in
Yeah.
England or something. It was like, oh, this was around since before
Yeah. Like seeing ruins in
before
Rome,
even my grandparents were alive.
and they're old. Yeah, it's amazing.
Now, Jess, start of the episode, I promised you some fun facts about the Nugget.
Oh, I thought
The
Did
Eric
you
Bana
just
film.
look them up while I was talking?
Yes, I did.
Well done.
And I found one trivia item.
one little nugget.
One little nugget, if you will. Thank you, Matt. And I will. High five. Definitely
Warranted.
warranted. This is from the IMDb trivia part of The Nugget,
Yep.
the 2002 Australian film. It says here, Eric Bana was the first choice to play Xander Cage in Triple X, but turned it down to do this movie.
That's so good. Fuck,
What
I love
a
Eric.
fantastic decision.
I love Eric Bana so much. A big Saints supporter. Do you know that about
Is
him?
he?
Yeah.
That is fun, Dave. Thank you.
He got the Saints into what's that bloody Adam Sandler movie from a while back? It's about a stand-up. He was playing a stand-up
Is
comedian.
it funny,
Funny
guys?
people.
Funny people. Yeah, there's a whole scene in it where Eric Bana's
There
explaining
is.
footy and the Saints playing Collingwood on the TV.
That's right.
Do you want to know how much Triple X grossed?
Yes.
277 million. Oh, Eric. Good on you for doing that.
a lot of that was in the Vince Colosimo performance, though. Vin Diesel.
No, Vince Colosimo.
No, you had it right the first time.
Peak.
Always follow your gut.
Bloody
When your
love
gut
Eric
says
Bana.
Vince Colosimo.
But it's amazing to me still. Eric Bana is like a Hollywood. He's been a
Yeah.
leading man in Hollywood, and he was a sketch comedy actor on
Yeah.
Australian TV
Oh, so good.
in the 90s.
He was so funny.
so funny. Poiter.
Poiter.
Oh.
And every time the voiceover would say Peter, he'd be like, Poiter.
It's Poiter.
Poiter.
It's Poiter.
My favourite one is
Him doing Ray Martin. Very good.
I love when he's doing a cooking show. He's like, now I'm going to tell you how to cook a 7-course meal. That's a pie and a 6-pack. What a guy.
What a
That
guy.
is great.
That is my hero right there. So thank you very much to Hannon Dempsey from Perth for suggesting that topic. I think it's a good one. I think maybe reminded a few Aussies about their primary school or high school days
Yeah.
and overseas people. I imagine you hadn't heard of that. So
Probably not. And yeah, shout out to Ballarat locals, Josh
Yeah, shout
and
out to-
Connor,
yes.
who also suggested it. And,
That's
are
so
just
cool.
lovely humans.
Shout out to all our peeps in Ballarat. And shout out to that McDonald's. Wonder what
Bakery
they're
Hill.
doing right now.
Flipping burgers, I reckon.
Doing what they do best, baby.
Hey, so it's time. Is that the end of the report? Great report, Dave.
Yes. Oh, thank you very, very much.
Thanks so much for that's such handy knowledge to have put back into my brain.
Yeah, I think I, feel like it's something that
I was
Australia should
given
know.
that
Yeah.
flag. I've got that flag in it. What do I do with it? It was given to me as a present like years ago. I'm like, cool. It's a great present.
Like just the flag,
it's a
right?
really nice looking flag.
Is it a
Like,
full
what-
size?
Yeah, full size flag.
Right. You don't own
I wear it as a
flag
cape, obviously.
Yeah,
Um,
you're not an idiot.
No, it's just folded in a drawer. I'm like, oh, because I mean that store. I think it's used sometimes by for maybe less nice reasons, but it's sort of like a symbol of the union movement still in Australia, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. So yeah, trade unions, and anytime people are fighting for like labor rights, that flag comes out again to be like,
Yeah.
hey,
And
remember the people.
I am a man of the people. I'm from the. Obviously, you guys are the man to me, and I am the
Yeah,
people.
we're the Hotham and Latrobe, and you're the Peter Lalor here.
Yeah, I'm the
At least I
one.
got a mountain named after me. I'm Hotham, by the way.
Nice. I'm the one that illegally married my dead wife's sister.
Typical.
I regret nothing.
She's hot.
It's really great.
So this time of the episode, we in our Patreon, which is the supporters of the show who help keep it all running.
Yeah, that's right. And if you would like to get involved at any time, you're welcome to do so at dogoonpod.com, and you get bonus episodes, shout-outs. You get to vote for things like this. This could have been a different episode maybe if you people at home were a patron. You could have maybe steered it in a different direction.
Especially if you're a landslide.
Yeah.
But one of the new rewards on the Sydney Scheinberg level of Patreon is you get to give a fact, quote, or question, which we read out at the end of the episode, and it could be about anything. This week's fact, quote, or question is from Mark Reed, Mark Chopper Reed, as we call him. We've met him a few times on the live chats. And they get to offer a fact, quote, or question, and they also get to give themselves a title. And Mark has given himself the title of Refreshment Liaison Officer.
Oh, love it. Well done, Mark. Yes.
Mark, that's great, but I'm feeling quite parched. And where the hell are you?
I need you, Mark.
And he's...
Matt needs you.
Get that man a drink.
I am dry.
Dry ginger ale.
And he's offered a fact this week. And his fact is the shark in the Jaws movies was named Bruce. So named after Steven Spielberg's lawyer.
I've seen that shark at Universal Studios.
So
Really? Oh, so it was
probably
a big
at the same
physical...
time in 1998.
98, baby.
So basically, you go on the Universal Studios ride.
Yes.
And it goes around and it's all movie themed, and you see the house from Psycho up in a hill and all this stuff. And you go on a bit where you go along a bit of water and then the music starts playing. And then a giant mechanical shark comes out. And when my dad leant over to take a photo of Jaws, his sunglasses fell off and landed in Bruce's mouth. So it was like the shark ate his sunglasses. And we never saw him again. And as an 8-year-old, that was so funny.
Oh, I thought you were going to say scary.
Traumatic.
I got really scared on that ride at the part with Godzilla. Not Godzilla. What's the big monkey? King Kong. It was a King Kong.
Actually, an ape, not a monkey.
That bit scared the shit out of me.
Really? Oh, no.
It's a common thing people get wrong with the primates, getting monkeys confused with apes, which I talk about a lot on my new podcast, Primates.
When's that coming out? Soon?
It's coming out soon. I'm just waiting on Evan to get the music to me. I've recorded a few episodes, including one that you've been on. Jess is going to be on one soon.
Jess should be on the King Kong one after that.
No.
Slip of the tongue.
No.
As punishment.
Tripod have a song about King Kong, and the chorus is just "Get to the fucking monkey," because
Very disappointed.
Yeah, get to the fucking ape.
Thank you.
Anyway,
it's a great ape.
Thank you, Mark Chopper.
Thank you, Mark Chopper, for your fact about Bruce.
That is cool.
So cool.
Cool.
Now, another thing that we do with our patrons is thank them at the end of the episode, and then we do a little thing with their names or where they're from. What are you thinking, Jess? Anything?
I was thinking of giving them an amount of gold that they would have found.
Oh, okay.
Ooh.
Right on.
Like a metric fuck ton could be one.
Yes. Yep.
One amount.
Or you could do dollar amounts.
6 yards.
Or you could think of something else we could give them.
I love that a lot.
So,
well, can I kick it off?
Oh, sure.
Yeah, how much gold are they going to get? Let's do it.
Yep.
Hey, we were talking about this man earlier in the episode. From Camperdown in Victoria, Mr. Connor Saunders.
Connor.
What are the chances that we thank you on this episode where you've suggested the topic? So I really hope you have listened all the way through, Connor. Thank you so much for the suggestion and the support of the show.
Someone mentioned you on Facebook this week saying, geez, that redheaded guy on the front row is really well lit in one of the live episodes.
They weren't talking about you.
No, yeah, good question.
Yeah,
I didn't qualify that.
Maybe they meant you.
Is that weird that I assumed it was Connor and not me?
Yeah, that is weird.
You're not in the front row.
Thank you.
Well, technically, maybe some people view the stage as the front row.
Well, then they're thinking of us as one of them, and that is very, very
That is
wrong.
Well, no,
disgusting.
I feel like one of them.
Yeah, you would.
Yeah, maybe they were trying
Revolution.
I'm a diva.
Now, how much is you are?
Hey.
And all right, you are not. Connor.
you.
I'm going to say
gold?
Connor's got a chuff full.
He's got a chuff full
An
of
entire
gold.
chuff
A
full.
entire chuff full of coal.
Well,
Coal. Sorry, Connor.
wow.
Gold.
Oh, gold coal.
Gold coal.
Coal gold?
Is it one of those
Coal gold.
things? Maybe you paint it black to sort of smuggle
Rolling
it out.
Stone style.
Thank you. I was going to,
You
make
paint
the
it black
Rolling
and chuck
Stones
it up your shuff,
Chuck it up
Rolling
your
Stone
shuff.
style.
And then when you go through customs, they check and they go, don't worry, it's just coal.
Just
Coal off the chuff. No worries, sir. On your pop.
Carry on.
No worries, sir. Off you go. Welcome to the country. Have a bloody good stay, mate.
Oh, that got really threatening at the end there.
Have a good stay. Hope to see you again.
Where you going to be staying? Like,
Sounds a bit like Michael Caine's Fallen on Hard Times.
oh,
Poor bastard.
we've all been there.
I'd also love to thank, if I may,
Please.
from Thetford in the greatest of Britons,
Ooh.
Great Britain,
Oh,
Philip Greer.
Philip Greer.
What a great name. And Thetford is a great sounding place too. Just looking at where that is.
Thetford.
Thetford.
Bet they do a great real ale.
Oh, it's in
to
between Cambridge and Norwich, if you zoom out. So towards the
Oh, only if you zoom out,
east
though.
coast.
I'm thinking.
Yeah, between Ireland and Germany, if you really zoom out.
It's funny because I don't understand geography.
I'm
So I'm
thinking
guessing that's true.
an empiric pintful of gold.
Oh, wow. An
very
empiric
good.
pint.
Empiric pint.
That's the big one, right?
That's the big one.
Nice.
That's a lot of gold.
Congratulations to Philip, and thank you for your support.
Now, I've got to ask you, Matt. I don't want to make it a competition between our listeners, but is that more or less than a chuff full?
Well, it depends on the chuff, but
Yeah, okay.
Connor is a big man.
He's
so-
a big guy.
And I,
Yeah, he's-
assuming
and he's
if he's in
well-lit.
proportion, then he's got a big chuff,
got a
which I
big
still
chuff.
don't fully know what it is.
Yeah, you'll figure it out one day, little buddy.
We'll show you.
Bit is it the
It's the chuff.
right?
Can I thank some people?
Yes, please.
I would like to thank.
I meant imperial. Did I say empiric? Sorry, it doesn't matter. Imperial pint.
Oh, that's what I imagined too when you said it. I think you may have said empiric, but
I would like to thank from Agnes Banks in New South Wales, Noah Wright.
Noah Wright, Agnes Banks. I don't know. I've heard of that.
He's googling
Angus
again.
Banks.
I've just got the maps open. I'm
Agnes.
Agnes Banks. That's a place, not an elderly woman.
No. Hello there, I'm Agnes Banks. Would you like a toffee? All right.
Yes, please.
All right, just one toffee each.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, Matthew, you can take a second one, you cheeky little bugger.
Thank you, Mrs. Banks.
On your way then.
cheeky little chuff.
Now get off my garden and don't ever get back on it. Understand?
Sorry, Miss Banks. I've been sweeping so many chimneys lately.
Got
Thanks, Miss Banks.
a lung full of
I
coal.
hope to see you again one day.
Oh my god. What the fuck? This took a real turn. Where's Agnes Banks?
It's just
She's in her home, just leave it be.
she's just east of the Blue Mountains.
Oh, lovely.
So
Noah
from Sydney.
Wright. How much gold did Noah Wright find?
I mean, I've done them all so far.
All right, what
Let's
about
give Dave a go.
an arc full.
For that, I mean, you're being way more generous. That's like a big boat.
That's
Yeah,
heaps.
Noah's arc
Oh, I
full.
know her, right?
Noah's ark full of gold. He decided to let the animals drown and instead stocked up on gold.
Savvy.
Yeah, savvy business-wise. I mean,
Makes sense.
did destroy humanity and animalanity, but
Animalanity. Flora and fauna. Thank you to Noah. Congratulations on your arc.
yeah.
And I'd also like to thank from, where is this? Tuncurry? That can't be right. Michelle Clare.
Michelle Clare.
Thank you.
Ton
Great
curry
name.
exists.
Tun curry.
Surely it's not Tuncurry. That just sounds
Maybe it's
silly.
cun curry?
No, it's ton curry.
Tun curry.
But yeah, but they're probably surely they say it differently.
Tuncurry.
You know what I'm saying it
Tuncurry.
wrong.
Tun
Tuncurry,
curry.
yeah. Yeah, that makes more sense.
Ton curry, it is.
Michelle, I reckon, has done very well for herself. Michelle's done well.
Oh, a metric ton curry? Of...
No.
Well, a wellful.
A well. Wow. And it's quite a deep well also.
Oh, good. You need to stipulate that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a very deep well.
It's a well that they've concreted in, and she's put one nugget on top of it.
You know what they call wells? They call them nature's chuffs.
Yeah, that's true. They do. They do call them that.
Yeah.
So that's good that we've clarified.
Thank you. That's a little fun fact, a little bonus fun fact at the end there.
I like that a lot. Now, I would like to thank, if I may,
Please.
all the way from Woodbridge, Ontario. In Canada, which is just outside of Toronto. I would like to thank Kathleen Neves. Kathleen Neves. K. Neves.
You make me weak at the knees.
Thank you so much, Kathleen. You're
Just
making Matt
looked at me like, I mean, sure.
Where? How much gold has she got, Kathleen Neves?
Kathleen Neves.
Oh, I think Kathleen only got a couple of those little ones. What are those little ones called?
Little
Dave?
nuggies.
Alluvial gold. Like a
Yeah.
couple of specks.
I only got a bit of that.
She went panning and got a couple of specks.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Oh,
you can. I mean, you can get. She can have anything, and that's what
Oh,
you've
I'm
given.
sorry to be realistic,
I'm getting
Matt.
the
You
same
think they can
vibe.
all have arkfuls?
No,
Yeah,
yeah,
sorry.
Dave really.
No, well, Noah really stole a lot of gold from everyone
I'm
else.
sorry,
He
but
was
I'm a realist.
No,
I didn't say she's unhappy.
Don't apologize.
I didn't say she didn't have a wonderful life after that. You know what? She met the love of her life.
Really.
Yep.
Yeah, and his name is Noah Wright, and luckily he had a shitload of gold. So
She made him weak at the knees.
Even Noah didn't find that funny.
I mean, it's
And
not
here's the
funny.
love of her
it's not
life.
funny. It's beautiful. Jess.
If you're getting weak at the knees, you should see a doctor.
What are you going to pay him with? Specks of gold? She doesn't have enough.
I think often, this is a monkey paw sort of thing, isn't it? You wish for an ark full of gold, but that just fucks you
Too
up.
much.
Too much gold.
Yeah,
What do you do with it
she's had a fantastic life.
Imagine the bushrangers that'd be swarming around you.
But like you wouldn't be able to trust any friendships beyond that.
And if you're putting that up your chuff, obviously that's going to be painful. A couple of flecks.
You don't even notice.
Never notice it.
Yeah.
Flex in the chuff.
You wouldn't have a sore jaw, I'll tell you that. Kathleen, in summary, thank you. And finally, I would like to thank from Manchester in New Hampshire, USA. Have we ever thanked someone from New Hampshire in the US?
I'm not sure.
Far Eastern State. I would like to thank Benjamin R. Brisson.
Been around for a while.
That's right. We've got a few tweets from Benjamin R. Brisson, who is very, very keen for us to do a report on Joseph Stalin.
Oh, yes.
Benjamin, we may get there one day.
Stalin would be a great report.
Obviously, you're voting a lot, so if it comes up in the hat, I hope you do vote for it. And just quietly between you and me, Die Hard is a Christmas movie, despite the war we had on Twitter that time.
How is that quietly between you and him when you just said it on the podcast, which gets millions of downloads?
Just-
I also...
They had to invent new numbers.
It's definitely a Christmas movie.
I mean, they're at a Christmas party. If it wasn't Christmas, the
I
movie
assumed
wouldn't
he was
exist.
being ironic when he argued that.
Possibly.
We should do it.
Dave never assumes irony.
I think that would be a fun vote in the hat one time. Maybe not fun. Fun is not the right word. But like a dictator or a tyrant vote.
Yes, maybe we can organise one of those coming up. That would be good. But thank you very much for your support, Benjamin Arbrison. I do appreciate it, and so does Jess and Matt. And I think that you have one limo full of gold.
Whoa.
A limo as seen in the Christmas film Die Hard.
Little shit.
Man, I'm just hearing them sleigh bells ring, jing, jingling.
That's right. But thank you very much for your support all the way in New Hampshire. Hopefully we've got some other listeners in New Hampshire. Let us know if you're out there. Let us know if you're on. And you can let us know at any time, by the way, anything, by tweeting us, going on our Instagram, following us on Facebook, or emailing us. All the links are now conveniently located on our website, dogoonpod.com. That's the same place where you can find links now to our Sydney show coming up. We talked about at the start of the episode. And you can also submit an idea to the hat, a topic. Mm-hmm. And you can tell us why. It's really, really great.
The other one, I've been updating YouTube again, so we'll almost have all the episodes up there soon at youtube.com/dogoonpod.
And
so
one day-
subscribe to that.
One day this episode will be...
Some people will be bloody listening to it on YouTube right now, and their heads will explode.
Oh, no, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry about that, but they're dead now. Sorry. But I make no apologies for that.
But that is the end of another week's Do Go On. Get in contact anytime, as I said. Love to hear from you guys. But until next week, when we're back with another report, I will say thank you and I will say goodbye.
Laters.
Bye. Chuff is a bum.
Oh!
Oh, that changes everything.
This podcast is part of the Planet Broadcasting Network.
Visit planetbroadcasting.com for more podcasts from our great mates. I mean, if you want. It's up to you.